the pitch had a great night, right? Some players have had shaky games in the past, recent past, but everybody from back to front looked great. So a great night for us. I couldn't have asked for any better.
And still staying with you, what do you think clicked for us now on that night? Well, what do you think was key to that performance?
Watch Transit TV right now.
I'm Tochukwu Michael. Keep watching Transit TV.
Transit TV, welcome back to the studio. Big names today. I have my man Ubum as usual, and we have the long-awaited big man, big football man in the studio today, Humphrey. We've been trying to put this man to the studio for over 2 years now. It's been very difficult. Today we are lucky and so excited to have Humphrey in the studio to discuss football, especially Arsenal. He's an Arsenal fan, and get ready for this. It's going to be heated because him and Ubum, both are Arsenal fans, and it looks like they have divergent opinion when it comes to Arteta and Arsenal. So let's buckle our belts and hope that this one, they don't forget me in the studio today. Humphrey, you are welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I've been a big fan, of course. Just haven't had the honor of actually getting on, so big pleasure to be here.
Yes, bro. Ubum, as usual, you're here. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Reggie. A pleasure to be on Transit as usual. Very glad to have a man I refer to as a legend all year round. You know, we call him Pelé. You know, if you know who Pelé is, Edson Arantes de Nascimento of Brazil. He's very gifted on and off the field. It's a pleasure to have Humphrey on Transit today.
Yes, sir. So where do we start other than Arsenal? Yesterday, contrary to all opinions, I know you were a little bit apprehensive before that game. We were not sure where it was going to go. PSV dumped out Juve in the last round, if you remember, and they also beat Liverpool at, I think it was at Anfield, in one of the group games for Champions League this season. So it was always going to be a tricky one for Arsenal, and being that they looked almost toothless up from losing four of their front players these days and using what you would call maybe option C up front for them to go into that game. And I called it a made-look easy night for Arsenal because, yes, it looked easy, but I don't know where that performance came from. I don't know if it was going to be, you're going to say your PSG was poor or Arsenal were just out of, we're just unplayable on the night. So, Humphrey, how did you see that game, and what do you think is left for Arsenal for the rest of the season?
That's a typical Arsenal performance on their night, right? So it kind of makes you wonder, did PSV have that bad of a night, or did Arsenal have that great of a night, right? Because they simply made it look easy. The story for the past several weeks is, Arsenal doesn't have a recognized striker. That's why we've been losing all of the games or losing the points. But on this night, we kind of made a lie of all of that, right? So it kind of begs the question, like, what has been the issue? Because we just basically it was a walk in the park for us. Everything we did worked. Everybody on the pitch had a great night, right? Some players have had shaky games in the past, recent past, but everybody from back to front looked great. So a great night for us. I couldn't have asked for any better.
And still staying with you, what do you think clicked for us now on that night? What do you think was key to that performance?
Again, it's hard to tell. Again, we've seen this with Arsenal, right? On a night where everything falls in place, it's like we look like we can beat anybody. And this was one of those nights, right? It did not matter that we did not have a recognized forward. Everybody from back to front just looked, everything was going our way. All the bounces were going our way. Nwaneri, of course, was Nwaneri again. I think we'll have more conversations about him and the way I think the club should probably be playing now with him, with him being on. But on the night, he was excellent, right? Everybody, Ødegaard has had very slow past several games since he came back from injury. He has not been the Ødegaard we all have come to know and love. But on this night, it looked like the old Ødegaard was back. So everything just worked, right? So again, it kind of begs the question. I guess we'll find out next week. Did PSV just have a really bad night? Or did we just have a lucky night where everything just fell our way? But it's kind of impossible to pinpoint one thing and say this is what worked. Like everything we did just seemed to work.
I know yesterday we were going to look at this game, we didn't have time. So for you, hearing what Humphrey is saying there, where do you take it up from? What do you think was key for Arsenal for the way that result went? The game, like Humphrey mentioned, it was just it was just unimaginable because it was just a perfect night for Arsenal. Like he said, everybody was just on it. I did my video. I don't know if you guys have seen the video. I have my thoughts on why that game went the way it went, but I don't know. Let's get your thoughts on it.
My opinion of it is that I think the handbrakes were off yesterday.
Yes.
When I say the handbrakes were off, especially most of our defensive-minded players were offensive-minded yesterday. For some reason, maybe the coach decided to give them that liberty to express themselves. In spite of it being a high-pressure game, they played like it wasn't a pressure game. Everybody was switched on, everybody was intense, and everybody was mobile. When the team is like that, and you have the likes of Declan Rice playing around the periphery of the 18-yard box and having the defenders come up and join and go back, you could see overloads. Enough players around the 18-yard box to make that difference. I think that's the part of the problem we've had recently before this game, where our options around the 18-yard box were quite scant. And when you don't have enough quality around there, you suffer. You don't get to create opportunities for players to score goals. Another key would be Mikel Merino, I think, played better in holding up play and drawing people in. That's been missing in previous games. I guess he was trying to study and trying to get to know a bit more about how to play as a point man, so to speak, for an Arteta team. Being able to play with your back to goal, receive the ball, draw other people in, create overloads and then I also think the absence of Raheem Sterling, who's been in stinking form. Nothing has worked for him. And without him there and other players there clicking, I think it helped us win convincingly.
Yeah, for me, there are two things, or a few things for me. First of all, like you mentioned right there was that fluidity up front. And I've watched Liverpool in the last few weeks now very, intensely. I discovered something. Salah gets them the goals, gets them the assist. But Szoboszlai, McAllister, and I think Curtis Jones, these players try to arrive in the box, make those late runs into the box, and they put pressure on the Liverpool is attacking. So I think the Rice was deployed to play that role for Arsenal yesterday. And secondly, all through the season, if you also look back, some of our performances have come in Europe because European teams don't double mark your wingers or your players. They have confidence in themselves. They allow you space to play. They want to play and they allow you to play. And Arsenal is one of the worst teams you can allow to have space, especially in the wing. Like Ugo mentioned, tactically, Arteta's strength is in creating overloads for players, especially in the wings. And when you have a player like Nwaneri, which we have also discussed in this channel many times, one of the attributes that he had, which is what Arsenal lacks in most of our front players, that he had the ability to run on players. And when you're comfortable running on defenders, he always creates panic around the box, and there's always going to be left over follow for other players to take. And he also has the ability to take shots from anywhere around the box. And once he started doing that, people like Ødegaard maybe felt like, man, if this young boy can do it, then why would I be scared to try stuff like that? And still, Ødegaard had some shots and got his goal and one assist. Then the Trossard came alive as well. Of course, so yeah, I think it's a combination of something like Humphrey mentioned. But for me, most importantly is because it's an European game. Most European teams and PSV, having won Juventus, took them out of the competition, won Liverpool. And if you listen to Perisic before the game, he mentioned something. He said that Arsenal, yeah, good team, but right now they're missing a lot of players, missing something that he thinks that they're going to beat Arsenal. So probably they came to that game with a little bit of confidence that Arsenal wasn't in a good shape. Before the Kuriama was going on, 2 or 3 goals were already in their net, and it was difficult to come back from it. Because if you remember, they even had the first chance in that game to score. But somehow Arsenal was lucky, and that chance just went begging. And after that, it was just a change of gear for Arsenal. So yeah, this round is pretty much done for Arsenal, and except it has to be a very big colossal performance for Arsenal not to go through to quarterfinal. So I think it's fair enough for us to now look